Hello, and welcome to Delta Media Group's Tech Tuesday. So today, I'm told you can't see my screen. My guys are telling me you can't see my screen. Hang on, stand by. Let's see if this works. It's worked before, I've seen it. There it is, like magic. Tech support rule number 1. If it doesn't work, unplug it, plug it back in. So, now that we're up and running, today's edition of Tech Tuesday, we're going to go over the autoresponders. It's kind of a simple thing, and I've never really gone over it in the past because there's not much explanation or much setup to do for the most part, but it is good to know where these are and know what you can do with them, know what kind of options you have. So, long story short, every email that the system sends out on your behalf could be considered, an autoresponder, like a home finder, all that stuff can be customized, or most of them can be customized to some degree. Either by customizing the intro or what information is included on the email, and we're going to show you how to do that. So, into the DeltaNet we go, and here we are on your welcome page you'll run into when you first log in. And if I scroll down in the left bar to Preferences and Email Messages, this is where you can customize all those emails that go out on your behalf. So you can see here this top section. Now there's a section like this, or a list like this in most of the sections in this interface. And basically what this does is it tells you what variables you can put in these emails that the system will automatically replace with something. So you can see if you were to enter customer name into one of these emails, the system will replace that automatically with the actual name of the customer that the email is being sent to. And all these do something similar. You want just their first name, you can do that, just your name. Your full signature, email signature is in here. You can use listing counts, which go along with home finder emails. Listing counts would be how many particular listings the search returns, I believe. Yep, you can see the description of it here. Or even your agent license info. If you want to include that, you can use this variable. So as we go down through the line, each one of these different emails will pertain to something different. So this one is for the free report system. The free report system allows you to write up some reports that you can put kind of checkboxes for on a free reports page. So the idea is you write up a few reports that have to do with just interesting information or stuff that, that you think your customers would be interested in. They can go to your free reports page, they can choose which reports they want, and then enter their contact information and request them. When they request them, they will get an email with this intro, or you can disable the intro on these particular emails, and it will be followed by links to each of the actual reports that you've written. So you can disable your photo on those emails, or you can disable the notification email for those altogether. So we scroll down, the new listings introduction email. This is for the home finder emails. So if a customer saves a search on your website and they get an email that says, I found this many new listings that match your search criteria, that is what this one is for. You can customize the subject line, or you can customize just the introduction on that particular email. You can see it will default to this, but if you go in here and modify this, it'll keep that intro on it. You can also, with this one, disable the notification or disable your photo on those emails. You can choose, with home finder emails, the actual layout of the email as well. So this template is the one that it's set to by default. This is currently our newer template that we are working on some newer ones. And if you prefer these other two templates, you can select from these as well. You would just select it with the radio button, hit Update New Listings Layout, and that will update the template to the one you chose. You can choose whether or not the open houses section, so it will show open houses that match the search criteria for that listing. You can choose whether or not the email includes those. As we scroll down, these are the actual autoresponders. So if somebody requests a showing and that lead's assigned to you, this is the email that goes to them. If they request more information on a property or fill out a contact form and it's assigned to you, it'll send them this email on your behalf. If they request a CMA, there's kind of one specific place you can request those. So if they go to your website and they go to your virtual market analysis page, if you have one set up, they can sign up for that. And on that page, if they want more information based on the VMA they just received, they can request a CMA. This is the autoresponder that it'll send out if they do that. Listing request. So if they make a listing request on your website, same deal. This is the default that'll be in that email. The new portfolio autoresponder, and you can see that I've done some testing in here. But what this will do is if a customer goes to your website and they sign up for a new portfolio account, so when they make their first request, it'll automatically sign them up for a new portfolio account. It'll send them this email by default, and you can customize that as well. This one also includes, by default, their username and password so that they know they can use that to log in. By default, that'll just be their email address. So as we go down the line, this is a new portfolio autoresponder that was created based on a request. So the first one just means they went to your website and chose to create a new portfolio. They just went to your portfolio page. In fact, let me give you an idea what I mean. So if I'm a customer and I just go up here, right now I'm logged in, and I say join, and I fill this out to create a new portfolio account, then that will send out the one autoresponder. If they actually make a request, so if they go to, for example, the contact page, and they fill out the form on the contact page to make a request there, then that will be a new portfolio from a request, in which case they will get this autoresponder instead, where it actually shows the request type they made that generated the autoresponder. Photo portfolio is if they're going to your website and they are cycling through listing photos, a soft offer will pop up and say something along the lines of you can sign up here to have new listings sent to you daily or weekly. Or if they fill out that form, they'll get this autoresponder. Whenever you manually add a customer, it will give you the option of sending out an email. This is what that email defaults to. So you can customize this here. Also, when you manually add a customer, you can customize that email when you add the customer too. So you don't have to do that one here. This is just what that form will default to. Seller reports. So the emails that go out to your sellers, if you set those up under listings. So if I go to listings and active listings, and I say seller reports, and I go through, just follow through the wizard here to create a seller report. This is just a listing traffic report. What that will do is if I go there and set that report up, it'll send an email out to the customer once a week. You can also include yourself on that email, so it can go to you and the customer once a week. It just shows the listing and all of the recent website traffic on that listing. That one, scroll back down to it here. Seller report, that one will have this introduction at the top of it. So this is the default, but you can customize that introduction if you want. And then the seller report also has additional options. So in this case, the seller reports have a section for pending listings, comps, sold listings, and it will also show a column for how many web crawler views the listing has. So not just actual visitors, but how many times search engines actually crawled over that page. You can choose whether or not you want to include each of those sections with these checkboxes. So if you don't want the section included in those emails, you just uncheck it, and you go down here and update, or actually go to the bottom of the page and save it, and that'll save your new setting. Now, just like the My Home Finder emails, you can choose the templates on these. You can see this is our newest one, which is chosen by default, but you can select from either of the other two also by just clicking the radio button, and then you would hit Update Traffic Report Template, and that would change your template there. And then lastly, you have the MarketWatch introduction. So for the MarketWatch emails that your customers either sign up for or that you sign them up for, this is just an email that has a few graphs that give information about the market. This allows you to customize the introduction on that email. So when they get the email with all their market information, whatever you put here is what they'll get at the beginning of it. And for each one of these sections, you just hit update, and that updates your new settings. So that is all there is to it as far as updating all your autoresponders. Now there's one other thing I will add in here. If you have set up a custom domain name, so if you have, like if I had harleysrealestate.com and set up that custom domain name, there are some additional settings available for emails that the system will send out on my behalf. You can find those under Preferences and Domain Email Display. Now since I don't have any domains set up, I can't see them. However, I believe, who's that handsome devil? There we go. So when you have a domain set up, so I have this domain already set up, if I go down to Preferences and Domain Email Display, I can customize the from email address and the domain that's used in the links on all of those emails. So you can see eCards, My Home Finder, My Portfolio Autoresponder, Lead Autoresponder, detail page print flyers and CRM drip campaigns are all included here. The print flyers are the only ones that are not actual emails. So I can't send, well, I'll delete autoresponders. So, well, no, those I just can't pick. So the detail page print flyers aren't actually emails. So I can't choose the from email address I want to use on those, but I can choose the domain that appears in the links on those pages or the URLs on those pages. So to give you an idea how this works, if I were to set here, if I were to do something like that, what this will do is when this e-card email is sent out, instead of using my public email address as the from address, so when the customer gets it, it'll have the from field and it'll have an email address and my name. Instead of using my public email address, it'll use what I have typed in here instead. So it's a good thing to use if maybe you want your primary email address to be like a Yahoo email address, but you don't want to use that on your actual from emails. Generally, you'll want to use something like, through your company domain, or if you have a custom domain, so like harleysrealestate.com, you'll want to use an email like that as the outgoing email. Not only is it less likely to get bounced to spam that way, but it has a more professional look to it, especially if you're using a professional looking domain or your company domain. So that allows you to customize that portion of it, and then this lets you choose what domain you want to be used in all of the links on that email. It will use the company domain by default, which means it will be your username.companydomain.com/ where the page is. So if it takes you to a search results page, it'll be something like username, so whatever my username is, harleysrealestate.deltamediagroup.com / results / and whatever the rest of the property information is for that one. If I switch this to my custom domain, it'll use that instead. So it would be wolfarth.net / results / all the rest of that stuff. So this just allows you, if you wanted to personalize it on an email by email basis and decide what email address it will use as the from for specific types of emails, or a different domain to be used on specific types of emails, you can set that up for each email type here. All right, CRM drip would be email campaigns, and you've got e-cards up here at the top. My home finders are the saved search emails. And you can go through these and see what each one will do. So it is a handy feature for specific circumstances, but it is can be useful. All right, so as always, thanks a lot for joining me this week. We've got a pretty good handle on how to modify our autoresponders now. Feel free to give us a call if you have any questions, or send an email into support@deltagroup.com. Or if you have any questions or any suggestions for video topics for the future, feel free to let us know via email or comment on one of our videos. So thanks a lot for joining me, and I will see you again next week.